Oh, it's not? Okay. Well, yes, it is. There we go.
Here they come. Here they come.
All right. Remember what I told you, okay? Stay really quiet. Try not to scream, okay? Remember the Bible says, fear not, fear not, fear not. God hasn't given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Okay, just hold. What's your name? Walker. Am I going to have any trouble out of you today, Walker? I don't have any treats, Walker. Well, that was for him. It's a cracker, isn't he? No, he's a cracker. Hi, Mackenzie. How you doing? Kind of surprised I knew your name, didn't you? You know how I knew your name? Well, it's written right there. I see that. Hey, Mason. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, I've probably seen you before, too.
That was only at the church down my grandma and papa's road.
Oh, down your grandma and grandpa. Which church is that, Mason?
I don't remember.
You don't remember? Hey, better find a seat there. All right, Kristen. You want to sit over there? Me and phone. No, I don't want you to run my phone down when they're in. You can only hear some of the church stuff too. Let's get him a seat over there. Get the Mongolian up. You know what I mean? I got this, Walker. I got this, okay? What's that? Oh, the elephant's not mine. Yeah, I don't have any elephants with me, honest, Walker. Yeah. I couldn't put them in the truck. You know what I mean? I know. Is this just about everybody in here? I don't want to start until Miss Rebecca tells me to, but because, you know, she tried to get by with just giving me 45 minutes? I said, what? I said, I need an hour at least. I brought more animals. There she is. See, that's why I didn't start yet. Now, Walker distracted me a little bit over here, but
Walker does not belong to me.
we're going to have a good time tonight. Yes. What's that? What's my name? Mr. Keeper. No, actually, it's Mr. Randy. You can call me Mr. Randy. I'm going to start just as soon as Miss Rebecca says I can start. I'll start. Okay? I could probably do that. All righty, boys and girls. We can start settling down just a little bit. I'm going to give Miss Rebecca a minute to see if she gives me the green light. I'm good. Okay. Hey, I am so excited to be here for Apalache Baptist Church's VBS. Is it a kickoff? Sort of. Anyway, well, we're going to have a great time today. I'm the critter keeper. I brought a lot of really cool animals to show you tonight. These animals are alive. And they're a little bit scary for some people. But that's okay. Who do you think made all these animals?
God.
God did. I believe that God made every one of the animals you're about to see very, very special. But I also believe he made each one of us very special. And that's going to come into play towards the end of the program. Now, like I said, I have a lot of animals here, but I do make it a little scary on purpose. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Well, think about this. I think it's really important, boys and girls, I think it's really important that boys and girls and parents and VBS teachers learn how to control their fear, just like we want you to control your excitement, just like we want you to control your mouth when someone else is talking. Now, we've got a special word for that, and I've already heard it one time tonight during the songs. That word is self-control. We need everybody to exercise some self-control in here. If you get scared, it's okay to scream, but we want you to quiet down quickly. If you see something funny, it's okay to laugh, but we want to quiet down quickly. But the whole thing about being afraid, you know, the Bible says, fear not, fear not, fear not. It says God hasn't given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. God told Joshua, be strong and be of good courage. And when you go into the wild, it gets a little scary sometimes. Think about this. Think about controlling your fear. What would happen if you were with a bunch of your friends and all your friends wanted to do something that was wrong and you were afraid to say no? You were scared of what your friends might say or think about you. You didn't have the courage to stand up and to do the right thing. That's how a lot of people make really big mistakes in their life. Have you ever heard of John Wayne? John Wayne was the Duke. John Wayne was a famous American movie actor. He starred in a lot of westerns and a lot of war movies. You know what John Wayne once said? John Wayne once said, life is hard, but it's harder when you're stupid. Now wait, did I say anybody in here was stupid? No. But raise your hand if you've ever done something dumb. My hand is the first one that went up. I've done some dumb stuff in my day. You know why? Boys and girls, I've done some dumb stuff in my day because I'm a human being. And I'm not perfect. And I've done some dumb things. And in fact, I will tell you one of the dumbest things I ever did. You know what I did a couple of years ago? I brought a badminton racket into a Foursquare game. And when nobody laughed then, just like they didn't laugh now, I realized that's dumb. And so I took the badminton racket and I tossed it aside. 2 plays later, my grandson shoots the ball over my square. I stepped out to get it, stepped right on the badminton racket, Pastor. Broke my ankle. Not only break my ankle, 2 weeks after breaking my ankle, I had to have surgery. And a month after having surgery, I suffered a stroke when a clot broke loose from my leg, traveled to my heart, should have went to my brain, but it did go to my brain. It should have went to my lungs, but there was a little hole in my heart, went to my brain instead. And I'll tell you, I went blind in my right eye, couldn't lift my right arm, my right leg. I mean, it was a full-blown stroke. And 3 days later, I was home after fervent prayers of lots and lots of people. And I was the only person that morning that remembered the garbage had to go out that morning. And you know what I told the doctors? They said, that's pretty amazing. You came out of that stroke really well. And I said, well, different strokes for different folks, I guess. You know? Anyway, I tell you all that story. Tell you that story because shortly before breaking the ankle, I ordered an animal. And after I broke the ankle, the animal arrived. There I was on crutches up in the bedroom window, having up and down one leg, while Christian and another one of my grandsons had to corral this animal and get him put away. And even to this day, this animal's just a tad bit feisty. Did you want to meet him? Yeah. I'll get him then. Pastor, if my grandmother only knew what I was using these nice embroidered pillowcases we got for our anniversary that year. Yeah, generally when you have a pillowcase, it's a snake, isn't it? Did I tell you he's a little feisty sometimes? You know what sometimes works just a little bit better? We just do it like this. There we go. Yeah. Whoa! Now, there's one. Lost one already. This is Slew. Slew is a bull snake. Boys and girls, listen. He's not venomous, but he does bite me every so often. But this snake's pretty cool. You know why? Bull snakes have a unique adaptation that God gave them. They've got a flap right in front of their windpipe, and they can hiss really loud. Sounds like this. I know. Another attractive feature is they'll vibrate their tail, mimicking a rattlesnake. So you know what I used to do when I was a little boy? I used to catch these snakes, and I'd fasten rattlesnake rattles to the tail, and I'd freak out the neighbor lady, because that's how I used to roll. Now, here's a couple of things about snakes. If you look at his eyes stay open all the time. Even when he's asleep, his eyes are open. He doesn't have any ears. He cannot hear sounds like you and I can. He doesn't have any arms. He doesn't have any legs. And do you see that tongue that's coming out? What is that tongue doing? He's smelling. Snakes smell with their tongue. That's weird. Can a snake hurt you with its tongue? No, but there is one creature that can, and I thought you might want to see it. It is the only creature in the world that can hurt you with its tongue. Nobody move. I see it. The only creature that can hurt you with its tongue is another human being. Have you ever said something to somebody that hurt them? Maybe you lied about somebody. Maybe you just said some harsh words. But I read something recently, and I've shared it with every program that I've done since. It said the tongue doesn't have any bones, but it's strong enough to break a heart. And that's something to think about when you're talking to your little brother or your little sister at home. Something to think about when you're talking to your parents or that new kid in school or that someone who's a little bit different than you are, because you have no idea what someone else might be going through and how our words can really hurt them. Yes, Mason, get up here. And Seela, come here. No, come here, Mason. Well, Mason, you raised your hands. I figured, come here, come on. Well, I don't. Okay, what's your name back there? What is it? Come on up. So I've got, there it is, Savannah. And I've got Selah. Selah, I'm going to get you to hold this pillowcase for me. Can you do that, honey? Good job. Well, hold it open for me, Selah. Hold it open. Now, Savannah, listen. Listen, I don't want you to get bit, okay? I don't want to get bit. I don't want Selah to get bit. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to catch Slew right behind the head so he doesn't bite anybody. Now, Savannah, Slew here is kind of a naughty boy. Naughty boy, Savannah. Savannah, naughty. Can you kind of unknot him, Savannah, so I can get him off my hand? Oh, good job, Savannah. Way to go. God, man, she knows what she's doing here. Good job. Now, Savannah, I'm going to ask you to help Selah with the pillowcase. Okay? Now, hold it up high. Don't drop the pillowcase. If you drop the pillowcase, Slew's not landing on his feet. Okay? Now, listen. If you get really quiet, pardon me, got a frog in my throat. No, I don't. Not really. If you get really quiet, sometimes when I drop Slew into the pillowcase, he lets out a big old hiss. You might be able to hear that. Sometimes he lets out a little hiss, but he's not going to hurt you, Selah, okay? You ready? Lift it up a little higher. We don't want him to hit the floor. Listen. See if we hear it. Ooh! Did you hear that, Savannah? Good job. Selah, thank you very much. Now, who made all these animals again? God did, didn't he? And I told you God made them very special. Now, boys and girls, I don't want to get the old sheep's crook to get off the stage, to get out of here on time, so I'm going to try to break this up real fast. But let me just tell you, did you know that we could take all the bugs in the world and put them in one hand, take all the people in the world, put them in the other hand? The bugs would outweigh the people. Did you know that? Now, a lot of those bugs are helpful to us, like honeybees and praying mantises. Some of them are harmful. They spread germs, they bite us and sting us. But this first bug I'm going to show you is not that helpful, not that harmful. He's just ugly. In fact, he's so ugly, if there's anybody here that's got heart palpitations, that's where your heart races so fast it doesn't pump blood everywhere it needs to go. Or if there's anybody here that's got bouts of blindness where your optic nerve gets pinched off and you're temporarily blinded, or if you have fainting spells, please do not look at this bug when I come around with it. Because the critter keeper in Apalache Baptist Church cannot be held legally responsible if somebody here passes out and embarrasses himself. Okay? This guy is not easy on the eyes. This is a whip scorpion, not a scorpion. A whip scorpion. Do you see this long tail it has? It doesn't whip you, and it doesn't sting you. What it does is it sprays out vinegar. Another name for this bug is the vinegaroon, which is a really fun name to say. Can everybody say vinegaroon? Now listen, imagine this. Imagine this. Here this bug is. He's minding his own business. He's walking down the vinegaroon path, and along comes a weasel or a lizard. And he sees this big, juicy-looking bug, but instead of getting a meal, he gets a face full of vinegar. Pretty cool trick, right? Now, you know what I think about when I think about the vinegaroon, boys and girls? Listen to this. I think if God cared enough about an ugly old bug to give it such an awesome way to protect itself, why do we sometimes have little pity parties thinking nobody loves us or cares for us? Is there anybody here besides me that ever gets poochy lip disease? Do you know what poochy lip disease is? It's this. Nobody loves me. Nobody cares. I can't have what I want. It's not fair. But boys and girls, I know we have family, we've got friends, you've got a great local church, and you've got God that loves you very much. And none of us in here ever have any reason to come down with poochy lip disease. Now, the vinegar only comes out the back end. On the front end, he's got these sharp box, ouch, like pinchers right there, and he'll get you with those things sometimes too. The vinegaroon. Boys and girls, do not try this next one at home. You have to remember, I am a professional animal handler. I've been doing this for decades. I would feel absolutely terrible if there was a boy or girl in this room that went out there and tried picking up a scorpion by the tail like you see me do. Now this is an Asian forest scorpion. Do you see how big those pinchers are? We got a real technical scientific term for big pinchers like that. We call them big honking pinchers. And when you've got big honking pinchers, you don't need a real strong poison in your tail. I've been stung by this guy dozens of times. And you know what? It hurts for just a couple of seconds. But I've also been pinched. And these pinchers will bring a tear to your eye. Now, we do have scorpions in this area here, so if you don't even have to go into the wild to find them. You might just leave your shoes out there on your back deck or the patio and forget to shake them out. Because when the little scorpions around here crawl into your shoes, you stick your feet in there, not shaking them out, it's going to hurt. The ones we have around here have stingers the sting is worse than a yellow jacket. Now, I'm going to show you something really amazing. And normally we can you turn off the lights briefly from up there? Okay. Some people believe that scorpions glow in the dark. Okay. And they don't. But if I bring out a special light called a black light, And if I shine it on a scorpion, look what happens. All scorpions, thank you for the lights. All scorpions do that under a black light, and scientists really don't even have a full understanding on why. It's kind of one of those little mysteries of God that so-called confound the wise, I believe. But if you have scorpions in your home, you can turn off all the lights, walk around the black light. You're going to find the scorpions very easily. Of course, you'll also find some places where the cat's been that you didn't know about, because that's going to fluoresce as well. Now, we've got something pretty dangerous that lives right around here, too. And it's just worthwhile talking about it sometimes, I think. Because, you know, summertime, a lot of people are outside. And this, boys and girls, is the black widow. This is not real. It would be terrifying if I had a spider this size. Black widows are very common around here. You can find them around play sets, rock piles, wood piles, corners of garages, mailboxes, electrical equipment. They are a shiny black spider. They have a red marking on their belly. It looks like an hourglass. Or for some of you more challenged, it's like a bow tie. And if you see these spiders, boys and girls, please, Walker, where you at? You don't play with these, Walker, okay? You see these, you tell your mom or your dad, right? Because the black widow's got a very serious bite. Good news and bad news, if you're bitten, good news is you're probably not going to die. Bad news is you're probably going to have to spend a few days in the hospital. But a lot of times in nature, we might have a bright color like yellow or red against a dark color like black or brown. It can be a warning for us. What does the yellow light mean if we're riding down the street with mom and dad? Slow down, caution. What does the red light mean? Stop, danger. So when we see those colors in nature, our first instinct should be to slow down, stop till we know exactly what it is. Now, it's not always going to hurt you, though, Walker. It might be an animal that's trying to make you think it's dangerous when it's not, okay? And we call that mimicry. We might have time to show you a little bit of mimicry here in a little bit. Some animals have bright colors because they taste bad, and they don't want to be eaten and spat back out and wind up dying for nothing. Walker, some animals, they just have bright colors because they're trying to get a girlfriend, and that's about it, okay? Now, Walker, do you remember the two bright colors that go with black that we have to be concerned with? We got black, yellow, and red, right? Walker, do you remember what red means? What's it mean? Stop, right? What does yellow mean, Walker? Slow down. Slow down. We have them with black. It shows up really well against each other. It might be something that can hurt you. Or it might be something that's trying to fake you out, making you think it's dangerous when it's not. Might taste bad. Might be trying to get a girlfriend. But you know what it might be, Walker? It might really be nothing at all. So you have to keep that in mind, okay? Yeah. For you grown-ups in here, I got to tell you, I have a lot of fun showing off these animals to boys and girls. And I also enjoy doing the little life lessons that we do as we go along. I just believe if a child learns a life lesson while they see or they experience an animal, that it's going to resonate with them. They could very well carry that lesson with the risk for the rest of their life. Does that make sense the way I explained it? Now, Pastor, I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm actually a published author. I wrote a book a few years ago, Animal Instincts, How I Became the Critter Keeper, available on Amazon. And got another book I'm working on. It's a compilation of all the life lessons we've used over the years in Critter Keeper. Going to put it in a devotional format. It's just got the perfect name. Constructive Criticisms. Anyway, I need a volunteer. What's your name back there? Aiden, come here. Aiden, your hand shot up like I don't know what. How old are you? 10. 10? Aiden, this next life lesson, always know what you're volunteering for before you volunteer. Right? This is something's going to pay big dividends one day, Aiden. But I'll tell you, or Caden, I'm sorry. I just heard Aiden from back there. I apologize. I'm going to let you hold this next animal, Caden. And when this animal comes out, she sometimes comes out with a little bit of drama, a little bit of flair. Sometimes we hear boys scream like girls, girls scream like boys. You're not going to scream, though, Caden. You know why? Because you're going to stand here and you're going to control your fear. And after you hold something I want to give you, something great for Miss Clyburn, like I said, I've held tarantulas for years. One thing they don't like is getting their feet wet. Can we get you to mop the sweat out of your hands one more time before we do this? All right, good. Now, just don't drop her. She's going to give you a little high 8. She's a little high 8. There you go. Now, is she hurting you? No, she's not hurting you at all. She's just walking. Oh, you know what, Caden? I'm sorry. Caden, I'm so sorry. I made a little bit of a mistake, okay? I'm going to give Miss Clyburn her sticker, but you know what I did? I let Miss Clyburn hold the children's spider. Does everybody want to see Miss Clyburn hold the grown-up spider? I'll be right back. Don't go away. I'll be right back. I was just funning with you anyway, Miss Erica. No, we don't take the Goliath bird-eating spider out because the Goliath bird-eating spider does not play well with others. Oh, this spider will bite. She tried biting this morning, and all we got were the little clings of the fangs hitting this plastic thing as she went in. And once she got in here, she was content to take her back legs and begin knocking the hairs off of her abdomen back there. Those tiny little hairs, if they float around in your air, they can get in your eyes, your skin, your throat. They can cause you some problems. A few months ago, I had to wear an eye patch for the better part of a week after getting a tarantula hair in my eye. I'll take those little hairs all day long, any day of the week. I don't want to be bitten by this spider. You have to understand, first off, that this spider is not fully grown. When fully grown, the Goliath bird-eating spider can attain a size roughly the size of a dinner plate. And if she bites me, the venom's not very strong, but her fangs are over a half-inch long apiece. They're going to the bone. I like to think when God made the Goliath bird eater, he kind of sat back, he stroked his chin, he said, there, that one's not going down the bathtub drain. Now, since we are in church tonight, I'm going to do something just a little bit different. Put a little add in. And you know what, Miss Erica, I just cannot help for you to come up here one more time. You don't have to touch anything. I promise. Come on up. And the reason I'm picking Miss Erica is I just see her face, and I think that woman has a countenance that just emits integrity and trust. Something during that last little discourse about having the big bird eater out here, I happened to mention that the fangs on that spider were over a half-inch long. And I don't know if everybody believed me, so what I did is I brought up a witness. Now, a witness is someone who gives you a truthful account of what they've seen or what they've experienced. When you're in school, if something happens in the hallway, you don't lie about it. You don't exaggerate it. You tell the truth. When you see an accident happen out on the street, you tell the truth. And when somebody asks you about Jesus, you tell them the truth, what Jesus has done in your life, and you tell them what he can do in theirs, right? That's being a witness, and that's something we're all called to do, is to be a witness. So I brought Miss Erica up here because I have something here that's pretty unique. You see, you might not believe that spiders, even Goliath bird-eating spiders, they shed their skin. And when they shed their skin, Miss Erica, it leaves an almost exact replica of the spider. So this is not the spider. This is just like a snake skin off of a snake. But see, when I mentioned that the fangs of a bird eater, or at least the one I have, are over a half-inch long, you might not believe me, so I brought Miss Erica up here to verify this. Now, Miss Erica, do you see those two black shiny things right there?
Oh, gosh, yes.
Now, those are the fangs. Now, Miss Erica, would you just verify that they're over a half-inch long?
They're big.
Okay. Now, Miss Erica, would they go to the bone?
I hope not mine.
So I thought Miss Erica was a very effective witness, don't you? Can you give Miss Erica a big round of applause? Now, boys and girls, this next bug, we're not going to take it out. This next bug is too big. It's too fast. And, I guess you could actually say it's too... Oh. That didn't work. So let me do this. As I was saying, this next bug, we're not going to take it out because it's too big, too fast, and too dangerous. And I cannot be held responsible for any nightmares that any of you, or sleepless nights that any of you kids have after you see this one. She's hiding. Always kind of fun when she hides, because you never know which way she's going to go. This is a giant Asian centipede. And you should be very thankful that I brought my little one. I have another one at home that's over an inch and a half longer than this one. The giant Asian centipede is the only species of centipede in the world that has ever killed a human being with its bite. A few decades ago, there was a little girl who lived in the Philippines. And while she was sleeping on the ground, one of these giant centipedes crept up along her body and made its way all the way up to her head. And when the little girl rolled over, the centipede bit her, and the little girl died 29 hours after that. Now, I know that's a terrible story to tell at a VBS, but I'm telling it to you for a reason. I'm telling it to you because here in America, the only time we sleep on the ground, we do it for fun when we go camping or fishing. Here in America, most of us live in nice homes that are built to keep things like this out of our house. Some of us might have somebody that comes around and sprays for bugs every now and then. Your beds are built so they're up off the floor. Makes it hard for stuff to crawl up into bed with you. We have good hospitals and good clinics. And here in America, we don't have centipedes that get over 10 or 11 inches long that can kill you with a bite. I think we've got it pretty good in America, don't you? And I was in here when everybody in here put their hand over their heart and they pledged allegiance, not only to the Bible, not only to the Christian flag, but to the American flag. And those words mean things. And you know what? There are millions and millions of children all around the world that would trade places with anybody in this room in a heartbeat if they could, because they don't have what you have and they don't have your opportunities. So, we are going to do something you weren't expecting the Critter Keeper to do when he got here today. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give everybody in the room some homework. Now, wait a second. Where do we do homework at? At home. We do not do homework at school. You might do extra schoolwork at school to keep it from becoming homework. But homework's something we do at home. Here's your homework assignment, boys and girls. When you get home today, I would like each one of you to give your parents a great big hug and you thank them for all the things they do for you. Sometimes your parents have to make decisions that you don't like and you don't understand why mom and dad won't let you go here or there or do this or that, and you like to go upstairs with the poochy lip disease. Remember the poochy lip disease? But your parents love you so much, they're willing to have you mad at them for a little bit in order to try to protect you from something. And I think instead of getting the poochy lip disease, we all should have an attitude of gratitude. Can you say that?
Attitude of gratitude.
Attitude of gratitude. That just means you're thankful for the people and the things in your life and you don't take them for granted. I have never seen an unhappy person who was grateful. And I've never seen a grateful person who was unhappy. Being thankful is just something that we do to make sure that we're happy. And that means being thankful to your parents, being thankful for your family, your church, your country, but also to Jesus. Because, can I point out something to you? If that centipede bit me, I'm probably not going to die. In fact, I'm pretty sure I'm not because, circumstance of the bite and medical care and all that stuff. But do you know when a centipede bites, it injects 2 fangs on either side of your finger, and then it hangs on with all the other legs. Almost impossible to get off right away. Every account that I've ever read of a giant centipede bite uses one word in common. I want everybody to say this word with me. Excruciating. Say it. Excruciating. Excruciating means really bad, super intense pain. But do you know where we get the word? Ex means out of. Cruce means the cross. Out of the cross. It is a direct reference to the suffering death that our Lord and Savior did for us on the cross of Calvary. And that's something else we can be thankful for. Because nothing we do on this earth, I can't imagine anything being as bad and as excruciating as a death on the cross. We might stub our toe and say that was really bad pain. But Jesus suffered an excruciating death for our sakes. Who's ready for some reptiles? I'm not ready for reptiles. I got something else I'm going to show you first. And I got to find somebody courageous. Someone who's brave. Someone who's ready to go into the wild. And I'm going to go towards the back of the room because some of you boys and girls don't have great seats here. You got bouncing up. What is your name, Sophie? Come here. Now, Sophie, how old are you, Sophie? Oh, sorry. Sophia, how old are you? They just spelled your name wrong?
I'm 8.
8, perfect. Sophia, do you follow directions pretty well?
Yes.
Good. Have a seat right here. I got a little pre-screening process I got to do with Sophia before we do this. Now, Sophia, can you hold your hands out like this and not wiggle your fingers? That's very impressive, Sophia. Those fingers are rigid. I think I'm going to let you hold Jabba. You ever heard of anybody named Jabba? Oh, some people always mention Jabba the Hutt, but Jabba the Hutt's a fictional character from Star Wars. Jabba the Hop is very real. Now, Sophia, don't wiggle your fingers, okay? Sophia, you know why we don't want you wiggling your fingers? Because Jabba the Hop will eat anything that moves. You know what he eats at home?
What?
Anything that moves. He likes crickets. He likes earthworms, but his favorite food is mice. He'll eat 6 or 7 mice in a single setting. And guess what? He's only about your age. In frog years, he's going to get a lot bigger.
Okay, good.
And you know what I have for you? That's just bark from his cage. But you know what I have for you? I held Jabba the Hop sticker for you.
Okay.
Good job, honey. Have a seat, and I'll tell you about it.
He eats crickets like my bearded dragon.
You got a bearded dragon?
Yeah.
Good. I got one too. I didn't bring him tonight, though. A job. Thank you very much, Sophia.
Great job.
Well, sorry. Jabba the Hop is a giant African bullfrog, and when he gets full grown, he'll be approximately the size of a volleyball and weigh over 5 pounds. Now, I'm sure glad he didn't try to make a move on Sophia's fingers, but if he did, you would have saw his 2 big upside-down vampire teeth he's got in his bottom jaw. This guy, when he bites, you're going to bleed a little bit. Now, these guys, giant African bullfrogs, are from Africa, and in Africa, the big ones, when they discover a mud puddle that's in danger of drying up under the hot African sun, and there's tadpoles or eggs in it, these frogs have been observed to actually dig a channel so the water from the mud puddle can flow down to a permanent body of water so the tadpoles and eggs can survive. That is remarkable behavior for a frog. But, I don't want to bust anybody's bubble, but the frog didn't think that up on his own. I believe that's something that God put in the frog's brain to do to make sure that the species, so we'd always have these little frogs around. I think he's a handsome fellow, right? Yeah. And I know you're probably curious, but this is what Jabba the Hop looks like from the back, okay? So everybody's always curious about that. All right. Who's ready for reptiles? I'm not. I got something else I'm going to show you. And this one's poisonous. I said poisonous. I did not say venomous. There is a difference. Boys and girls, a venomous animal, if it delivers its venom to you, it's going to be through fangs, stinger, or spines. The venom will be injected into your body like a doctor giving you a shot. But a poisonous animal, the poison gets absorbed through your skin, or you swallow it, you get it in your eyes. Think of it like this. If it bites you and you die, it was venomous. If you bite it and you die, it was poisonous. That's how this works. Even though this guy's poisonous, guess what? You're going to love him. Because everybody loves Tony Soprano. Now, Tony Soprano here is a cane toad. And he is poisonous. You see those big bumps behind his head? Those are the poison glands. And when these toads get stressed out, they can ooze out a milky white poison out of those bumps. And that poison can kill a dog or a cat or a snake. Nothing makes the mistake of eating a cane toad twice. These toads were brought in from South America into places like Florida, Texas, Hawaii, Australia to kill bugs that were eating up sugarcane fields. the toads didn't do such a good job. Now these toads are everywhere down there, and they're causing a little bit of a problem. Now, right now, Toady Soprano weighs about 3 pounds. But these toads get up to 6 pounds. I cannot wait to be toading around a 6-pound toad. I think that's going to be totally awesome. Might need to get me a toad truck. I'm sorry, puns make me hoppy. There's a pun out there, I'll jump on it. Hey, what's your name? What is it? Brina? Brina. Come here, Brina. No, that's okay. Hey, listen, everybody. I know that we've all heard or read the fairy tale where if a pretty girl kisses a toad, it turns into a prince. Using the scientific method, I have a hypothesis that when Brina plants a big smackaroo on Toady Soprano here, he will not turn into a prince. But I've got to test my hypothesis. Brina, pucker up. It's okay. It's not the poison part. Oh, Brina, I've got good news and bad news for you. Good news? Good news? We're not going to make you kiss Toady Soprano. Did you want to hear the bad news? Toady Soprano didn't want to kiss you either. Isn't he awesome? Oh. Woo! Who's ready for reptiles? I don't know if you're really ready for reptiles yet. I don't know. Alligator. This is Pedro. Pedro is a basilisk lizard. This guy is built for speed. Look, he's got a little spoiler on the back of his head. He's got a racing stripe. These guys, man, they get up on their hind legs and run. They run so fast, they can actually run across water for a short distance without sinking. For that reason, they're often called the Jesus lizard. Now, think about this. His name's Pedro. Pedro is Spanish for Peter, and Peter was the only apostle that had the faith to get out and walk on the water with Jesus. Now, I told you they run fast. And I know you probably believe me, but being a Critter Keeper show, just thought I'd like to show you. So here's what's going to happen. Here in just a second, Christian, if you can get ready on that side, when I put him on the floor, I don't know where he's running to. Now, he might run over this way. He might run over that way. He might run right down the aisle right there. If he runs toward, listen, please listen. If he runs towards you, please do not get up and run. There's a danger of you stepping on him. Please don't kick at him. Please don't swat at him. The absolute worst thing that could happen is you go home tonight and you say, Mom, Dad, I went to VBS, the Critter Keeper was there, and I got run over by the Jesus lizard. It's the absolute worst thing that could happen. So, you're probably, with the way the room's set up, probably not going to see a whole lot, but you'll see the people moving, or where their head goes. So we're going to try this. Do it right here in front. Say, ready, set, go. I got him. Let's try that again, away from that fake river and rocks. Say ready, set, go. Oh. Where? Oh, there he goes. Coming your way, man. There he goes. There he goes. You got it? All right. Way to go, Christian. Isn't that awesome? Woo! Have I been talking for an hour already? All right. Shh. Shh. Some animals don't do so well with a lot of noise and movement. This guy's fairly new. Had him for about 4 months now. He was never handled as a baby, so I adopted him, named him Huey. Oh, not an iguana. Just happens to fit in the iguana box. Did you ever just live on the edge a little bit? Take a chance? Kind of say, hey, what's the worst that could happen? You know what I think? Can you guys stay really quiet? Shh. Now this is Huey. I named him Huey because the first time I picked him up, Huey, it was on. He was trying to bite, trying to claw. This is an African savanna monitor lizard. He's the little cousin to the Komodo dragon. And this is one animal I do not want to be bitten by. He's got a mouthful of sharp serrated teeth. If you don't know what serrated means, when you go home, open up the silverware drawer, look at a steak knife. They're serrated. So he's going to cut the flesh. But you know what? The good news is it's not going to bleed a lot, at least not initially, because he's going to have so much pressure on the wound, he's not going to let go for 10 or 15 minutes. So you're in a lot of pain. Plus, he's got a mouthful of bacteria. So whatever he does to you is going to get infected. And since he is the little cousin to the Komodo dragon, it may be that he's actually venomous. The venom would be the least of your problems after the infection and all that. He is a carnivore. He likes to eat hard-boiled eggs, thawed mice, and the occasional can of dog food. Now I'm going to put him in here. I want his head there. He's the little cousin to the Komodo dragon. Did you want to meet the medium-sized cousin to the Komodo dragon? The Komodo dragon does not have a big cousin. The Komodo dragon is the big cousin. And there's nothing bigger Komodo dragon-wise than the Komodo dragon. Can you guys get really quiet, please? Come on, buddy. Let's get you up here. I lost two now. I've lost a second one. Sorry. Uh-oh. What do we see here? And see anything different with this container? It's got red tape. What did we learn about the color red? Stop. Danger. The animal you're about to see is a dangerously venomous reptile. So if you could stay still and stay quiet, that would be most helpful. Now, Rebecca, there is not an instruction manual I can refer to on how to be the critter keeper. I got to be honest, kind of flying by the seat of my pants on some of this stuff. I just figured the day I started bringing a dangerously venomous reptile into homes and churches and schools, libraries, and that convalescent home that one time, figure better go ahead and mark it up in red. So boys and girls, I want you to stay seated. Don't get up and walk around. Have you ever heard or read about the black-necked spitting cobra? Well, I don't have one. I just want to see if you'd heard of it or not. I actually have something here just a tad bit cooler than a black-necked spitting cobra. All right. Got the toy out of the way. Yeah, you didn't think I brought a live cobra, did you? That'd be crazy. This is the reptile formerly known as Brutus. Changed her name to Brutella when she dumped a dozen eggs on me last fall. She is not a Gila monster. She's the Gila monster's big cousin, the Mexican beaded lizard. And yes, she is venomous. She looks venomous, so see the danger colors? So if you were in Mexico or Guatemala, probably not a great idea to rush up there and pick this animal up. Do you see how fat and thick her tail is? Tail's very fat and thick because these animals store fat in their tail just like a camel stores fat in its hump. But a lot of people believe that these animals cannot go to the bathroom like normal animals. They believe that all their waste accumulates into the tail. They think that's what makes them poisonous or venomous. Now, I'm going to tell you a little secret about that animal. I've had that animal for over 3.5 years. I can't tell you how many programs I've done with her. I can't tell you how many times I've had to take her out of her cage. How many times I've offered her food while she's in her cage or given her fresh water. Sometimes I've got a kiddie pool I dedicate to the animals. And, once every few weeks, especially during the summer, I'll put her in that kiddie pool so she can soak and I can take a brush and scrub her back and get the loose skin off her back. In all those interactions, this animal has never once tried to bite me. But I still have to give her the respect of a venomous animal. And you know something? When God made the animals, He didn't just leave them on. He gave them means to defend themselves. He gave them means to get away, just like you saw the Jesus lizard take off. And so it's important for all of us to have respect for the rest of the creation. Yes, we've got dominion over it, but that doesn't mean that something's not going to hurt. Even if you pick up a bunny rabbit can scratch you to tears there. And it would really surprise you if I told you what animal in the United States kills more people than any other animal. It's the horse. Horses kill over 400 people every year in the United States. Dogs are second. And way down on the list, after stinging insects, are scorpions, spiders, and snakes all kind of combined. Now, I need a volunteer. My volunteer cannot be afraid of snakes. Pick a snake up or hold a snake. My volunteer cannot have already come up here for any reason. And so many to choose from. So many. All right. I picked a girl last. A Walker. I don't know if this is for you or not, honestly. See, I picked a girl. What's your name in the glasses right there? Braden, come here.
He's having fun.
Is that a cue to say, hey, wrap it up, Critter Keeper? Is that what that was? Right here, Braden, right in front. Let me get this guy. Figure out what I did with him here. There we go. Come here, buddy. All right, Braden, how old are you? 6. Turn around here so everybody can see you. Braden, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to reach into this bag and pull the snake out. Can you do that for me? Go ahead.
Is it real?
Go ahead, pull it out. Whew. Man, Braden, that was a close one. I'm sure glad that's not real. You know why? That's a dangerous coral snake. And we don't have coral snakes up here in the Greenville area, but they have them down in Columbia, Myrtle Beach, Charleston, Savannah. Hey, Braden, do you see anything else in there? It's kind of dark, I know. Let me go ahead and unzip the bottom. Do you see anything in there now? What do you see? See the floor, right? Nothing in there. Now I'm going to zip this. There's a little rule. Red touch yellow kills a fellow. Red touch black, friend of Jack. You know why they call it friend of Jack? Because nothing rhymes with Braden. So here's what we're going to do. I want you to stick that in there. Stick the snake back in there. Now, do you remember the poem I just told you? Go ahead and say it. Red touch yellow.
Red touch yellow.
Kills a fellow.
Kills a fellow.
Red touch black.
Red touch black.
Friend of Jack.
Friend of Jack.
So it looked like you're a little rusty on it. All right? Go ahead. Let's do it again. Get the snake back out. Braden, you're not afraid of snakes, right? Go ahead, get the snake out.
I'm not afraid of a real snake.
You, what?
I'm afraid of a real snake. Wait, what are they? That's orange. Looks orange.
Well, look at this, Braden. This is red touch black. This is a harmless snake. Okay? Now, wait a second. Did you see a magic trick just happen here? Well, it was just an illusion. I made it look like I took a rubber coral snake and turned it into a live milk snake. And you guys were amazed. But every day, God takes somebody who's dangerous, who's not real, he's plastic, and God quickens them, and he makes them more alive and more beautiful and more beneficial than they've ever been before in their life. And sometimes we don't even bat an eye. That is the true miracles that God works. When God takes a sinful soul and embraces it so he can spend eternity with it. That's the miracle, Braden. You know what I mean? And you know why we don't see a lot of miracles, boys and girls? Because we don't ask for miracles. And we don't believe they're going to happen. But you know what? If we have somebody we'd like to see to come to Jesus, why aren't we praying for them? Why don't we believe that God is going to do something in that life? You know what? I can tell you from firsthand experience that prayer works, because I was that guy that had the stroke. And I had a lot of people get on their knees before a holy God and beg that I would be healed. And here I am, I'm standing today. Okay? God, well, thank you. And it's all to God. It's all to God. But God loves working miracles. He loves working miracles in hearts. He loves working miracles in families. He loves working miracles in churches and communities and countries. But all too often, we don't ask for those miracles, nor do we believe they're going to happen. Good job, Braden. Give me 5, buddy. You can have a seat. I need a volunteer. My volunteer cannot be afraid of snakes, cannot be afraid to touch a snake, pick a snake up, or hold a snake. My volunteer cannot have already come down here before. What's your name right there? What is it? Sophie, again? Zoe, come here. And what's your name? Come here. So I've got Zoe, and I've got Knox. Okay, right over here. Now, Knox, I'm going to put you right here. You guys have name tags on for me, for most part. There we go, just like this. I need... Carson, come here. What's your name down there? Bobby, come here. So I got Carson. I got Knox. I got Zoe. I got Bobby coming down here. I need the girliest girl in the room. The girliest girl in the room. Madeline, that's a girly girl's name. You want to come down here? Madeline, I'll put you right over here by Bobby. So I've got Madeline, I've got Bobby, I got Zoe, I got Knox, I got Carson. I got how many girls? I got 3 girls, 2 girls. I'm looking for a boy. Wait a second. I got 3. How old are you?
17.
That'll work. Come on up here. I'm going to put you right here. What's your name?
Destiny.
Destiny. So I've got Bobby. I've got Destiny. I've got Zoe. I've got Knox. Madeline, over here. Get up here, Carson. Madeline, where? Okay, Matt, you're down here. Madeline, come here. So I got Madeline, Bobby, Destiny, Zoe, Knox, and Carson. By raising their hands and by volunteering, these 7 intrepid souls are going to help me. Now, does everybody know what intrepid means? Intrepid means boldly courageous. Boldly courageous. These 7 people...
6.
I do that every single time. Every time. You are so lucky. You got somebody curled up there. What's your name?
Angie.
What's your name?
Angie.
Angie, come here.
Hey, Walker.
Angie, I'll put you right here.
Can Walker come?
Oh, I guess.
Come on, Walker.
I think Walker's going to come whether you want when you want him to. All right, listen up. Let me make sure I got this right. So I've got Carson, I've got Knox, I got Zoe, I got Destiny, I got Bobby, I got Miss Angie, I've got Walker right here, and Madeline right here. By raising their hands and by volunteering, these 7 intrepid souls have summarily agreed to help me with Julius Squeezer. Listen up. Inside this box. Hold up, Walker. I got this, okay? Okay, Walker. What? Wait, Walker. Walker, take your place at the end of the line down there, buddy. There you go. Inside this box is Julius Squeezer. Julius is about 12 feet long. Julius weighs somewhere in the neighborhood of 45 to 50 pounds. Let me tell you how this is going to work. I will be the one that unfastens the latches at either end of the bin. I will be the one that lifts the lid. Walker, you got to go down there, bud. Have a seat. I will be the one. See, always a chatterbox like that. I will be the one that reaches my hands in to bring Julius out. When I bring his head out, Carson, I will have his head. You get your hands up under his neck. You scoop up some. Forget the dinosaur for right now. You got to get your hands up under Julius, okay? Knox, you reach your hands down there. You scoop up some Julius. Zoe, you know what you're doing? You're scooping up some Julius. Destiny, starting to get a little heavy here. You scoop up some Julius. Bobby, starting to get a lot heavy. A lot of girls are watching, Bobby. We cannot have you down here going, you got to reach down there and scoop up some Julius, buddy. Angie, you're my anchor. Okay. Angie, I don't know if you noticed or not, but hold up, Walker. I don't know if you noticed or not, but besides me, you're the only grown-up up here. Okay, Angie, I'm going to need you to act like one, okay? I need you to reach down there and... Walker, have us... Madeline, where are you?
She's right there.
Madeline, come here.
You gotta help.
Angie, I need you to reach down there and scoop up as much of that thick muscular coil as you can manage. Lift with your legs. We don't want anybody getting hurt. You take what's left and you hand it over to Madeline or Walker or whoever's down here. Madeline, you and I, we have a very important job. Madeline, you and I have a very important job. Madeline, I'm going to be down here. I'm going to have the head. You're going to be down there. You're going to have the tail. Madeline, the head is where the food goes in. It has never happened in the history of Critter Keeper shows, Madeline. If it does, I will buy you a brand new Apalache VBS shirt. Okay? Because you'll need one. Walker, I need you over here, buddy. Okay? Thank you. Madeline, can I get some knuckles there, girl? Are we good there, Angie?
We're good.
How about it, Bobby? Destiny? Zoe? Knox? Carson? Rebecca, the name tags really helped me out, but, there's a few up here missing name tags, and I'm pretty good with the names, I mean, I have to be in this line of work if you ever have to notify next of kin. Got Walker down pat. You guys ready to meet Julius Squeezer? Yeah. I'm going to unfasten the latches. We're going to lift up the lid. Are we still going to be friends after this? Okay. Carson, come here, buddy. Scoop him up, Knox. Zoe, Destiny, Carson, or Bobby. Here, let me help you out. Put your hands up under here. There you go. Oh, look, she's taking pictures, Destiny. You know what you say when you're holding Julius and they're taking pictures? Say squeeze. Julius is an albino Burmese python. Right now, he's about 12 feet long. When he gets fully grown, he'll be over 16 feet long. If he was a girl, he'd get even larger, over 20 feet long, 250 pounds. Can you give my intrepid helpers a big round of applause, please? We're going to put him in tail first. Tail first. Everybody have a seat. Hey, boys and girls, real quick, I want to tell you a really quick story about when I first adopted Julius. When I first adopted Julius, he was between 6 and 7 feet long, weighed about 15 pounds. The very first night that I brought him home from adopting him, he escaped in my garage. And there was an emergency critter keeper meeting with my wife that night, I can guarantee you. And while he was crawling around in the garage, he got on top of a sticky trap that I'd kept out there to catch the errant crickets and mice. And so when I caught up with him, I had this big, beautiful yellow and white snake. And you know, he had a black spot as big as my hand on the side of his body where the sticky trap had stuck, but he got himself off. But it tended to accumulate the stuff you're going to find in a garage. So I had this big, beautiful yellow and white snake, and I was in a little bit of a quandary as to what to do. So I draped him over my lap, and I took some vegetable oil, and I tried to clean that black junk off his body, and it didn't work. So then I tried some rubbing alcohol, and I rubbed that on his body, and that didn't work either. So I gave up, and I put him back into his cage, and I locked it more securely this time. But the very next day, when I went out there, I realized Julius had just shed his skin. And when he shed his skin, all of his old skin came off. All of that junk that was attached to him came off. And here was this big, beautiful yellow and white snake, brand new. And that's when I realized what a great opportunity I had as the critter keeper. Because all of us, we go through life and we pick up junk in our hearts and our lives that the Bible calls sin. And we might think because we go to VBS or we go to Awana, we go to church, our family's Christian, we might think that takes that junk out of our life. But it doesn't. It's like rubbing alcohol or the other stuff, vegetable oil. There's only one thing that takes that sin away from us, and that's the blood of Jesus. 1 John 1:9 says, if we confess our sin, he's faithful and just to forgive us our sin and cleanse us from all unrighteousness. And that's a verse that every practicing Christian knows and practices, because we know, just like a snake shedding its skin, we have to confess that sin on a regular basis as well. Doesn't mean we get saved the first time, right? But we've got to confess that sin and become brand new. Now, boys and girls, I want to make sure, did everybody have a pretty good time tonight? Yeah? Did everybody see some pretty awesome animals? Did everybody learn something? Did everybody realize that God, being God, can take the most unlovely creatures in his creation and still glorify himself just like he could with mountains and birds and gazelles and all that stuff? God can do that. That gives me a lot of comfort, because I know at times I'm kind of unlovely. Now, I don't want to point any fingers, but I imagine some of you are kind of unlovely sometimes too, but God can still choose to glorify himself through you. Also, I don't know if you noticed this or not, but every one of the animals we brought out today, every one of them was very different. But I look around the room here and I see everybody here is a little different too. Walkers, some of us more different than others, you know? But you know what I never see back home in the critter cabin? I never see the centipede look at the snake and say, man, I wish I could smell with my I don't have a tongue! And the snake never looks at the centipede and feels sorry for himself because the centipede has more legs than he needs and the snake doesn't have any. All these animals that God made, every one of them is secure in itself in who it is and what it's designed to be and do. And yet we are created in God's image. And God gives each one of us gifts and talents and abilities and skills and personalities and interests that make us totally unique. And God wants us to develop those gifts and talents and use them for his honor and his glory. But all too often, us being people, we're too busy looking off at other people, wishing we're somebody we're not. Boys and girls, take your gifts, your talents, embrace them, develop them, and use them for God's honor and for God's glory. Now, I do have one last animal to show you. And there's a reason I bring this animal out last. He's not very big. He's not even that spectacular. But all the boys and girls usually love Nigel. Now, Nigel is a Euromastix lizard, also called a spiny-tailed dab lizard. That's dab as in paint dab, not dab as in Cam Newton dab. And he's got a couple of gifts of his own. He's got that spiky tail, and there's some days he doesn't feel like going to do a program. And I reach in there to pick him up. Whack! Hits me with that tail. Hurts a little bit. You wouldn't believe me when I told you what his favorite food is. I've got a lizard that loves birdseed. And some days I can hear him over there eating his birdseed. He's over there going, crack, 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 crack. But then he realizes I'm watching him. He goes, crack, crack. He looks around because he realizes the cracking of that birdseed could give away his position to something that might want to eat him. That's not even his gift. I believe that Nigel's best gift is his beautiful belly. Because when I show everybody how pretty his belly is, Nigel's going to wave bye-bye to every boy and girl in the room. Now, if he waves bye-bye to you, I think it would be a kind and a courteous thing if you wave bye-bye back, right? It would also be kind and courteous if your picture's wound up on Facebook to like Critter Keeper on Facebook. In nature, we call that symbiosis when two organisms help one another out. Nigel, it's been a great time here tonight at Apalache, and here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show everybody how pretty your belly is, and I'd like you to wave bye-bye. Now, I know this is your fourth program today, but you can't be tired of waving bye-bye yet. And besides that, these boys and girls are just dying to see a Euromastix lizard from the deserts of Africa wave bye-bye to them. So I'm going to have to insist that you do this. Nigel, you're falling asleep on me right now. Now, you pay attention. Let's go ahead. Let's wave bye-bye. Show them how pretty your belly is. You wave bye-bye to them. Come on, Nigel. Let's wave bye-bye. Come on. You can do it. Come on. Come on, wave bye. Come on, Nigel. Wave bye-bye. Bye-bye, Nigel. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Oh, that's a good lizard. That's a bye-bye. 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 Thank you very much, boys and girls, and God bless. Have a great week here at Apalache.